What is up, New York? We're talking about the Jets today. The Jets are coming into an interesting year. Finally, do we get to see what Aaron Rodgers is actually all about on this Jets roster? Let's talk about the Jets today here on Dynasty Pilot. Let's get it. What is up, fam? All right, today, after seeing the Jets going 13 years straight of actually not making the playoffs, which is kind of crazy, we are going to hopefully see what Aaron Rodgers can do for this team. Hopefully, assuming that he's coming back from his, tear Achilles, which was basically like play one of last season. So what did the Jets have to do last season? Last season they basically went without him, with Wilson, Trevor Simeon, and Tim Boyle all rotating in and out to try and perform. The Jets went 7-10 again. That's twice in a row. It's not looking good for the last couple of years, but I know they made some moves that trying to elevate this team. Obviously, with the Aaron Rodgers one last year, hoping that they were gonna, you know, do some damage with it, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So improving from there, they also improved the line, which they brought in Tyron Smith from the Cowboys, who's actually a very good left tackle. So hopefully he can actually do something there, and protect them with Jonathan Simpson, Joe Tittman, and Vera Tucker, who's also very good as well, and Morgan Moses. So that line is actually pretty decent. I hope that Rodgers can get enough time to get the ball off, and we'll see how that goes. And then also they added a new addition from Mike Williams, who formerly has from the Chargers. So between him and you know Garrett Wilson, this could be interesting to see. So I just hope that New York has something to actually fight for, as considering that the Bills have been kind of running this division with the Dolphins and Bills lately, as of late, the last couple of years. So I'm hoping that this can give that division some type of spark where they're actually fighting, and all three of them are going to be very interesting to watch. So what do they do for free agency besides Tyron Smith and Mike Williams? They brought in Jonathan Kinlaw, who's actually very good, and Isaiah Oliver, some defensive guys, and then Tyrod Taylor as a backup, which is interesting, and Chuck Clark, a good safety. Also, he signed a, what was it, 1 year deal, 2 million, with like a crap ton of incentives. So I don't know. It's just I feel like they're doing things here to improve. Also, Greg Zerline is now their probably future kicker. So we've seen what he can do, and he's not a bad kicker. Sometimes he misses the chip shots, but overall he's probably one of the best in the league. So yeah, good morning, guys. Derpy, how's it going, man? I expect the same thing to happen. So you expect them to go 7-10 again? Interesting. Or are you talking about the whole Aaron Rodgers thing? So we'll see if they go 7-10 again. I just hope that maybe they give a little bit of run. I hope Robert Saleh gets a little bit more run for his money. He's been working on this team. Um and I like him. I really do. I like what he's been doing. I'm not big on Nathaniel Hackett, but I mean, again, he works very well with Rodgers, and Jeff Ulbrich is also their defense coordinator. So let's see what they bring there. As for rookies, let's dive into that. So they came into the draft with the 11th overall pick. So they got themselves Fashanu, which is another good lineman there. So in addition to that line, I think it's be very good. And then they got Malachi Corley, who's probably going to be essentially the good slot receiver, who I expect to be like he should be very good with Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, and Corley. With Tyler Conklin, should be a very good weapon. So I mean, in addition with the Brees Hall back there as well. So Aaron Rodgers has pretty good, decent weapons, and the line's not half bad. I expect this offense to actually turn heads and make people actually rethink how they should evaluate their defenses. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, as old as he is, he's still. I still think he's one of the better players. Like, I know he didn't play last year because of his injury, and then people are like, "Oh, well, it's been like almost 2 years, right? He hasn't thrown since like 2 years ago." Well, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be that bad. I mean, it's he'll be on the bicycle again. Like, it'll be that easy. So they didn't have a second round pick. So Malachi Corley was picked in the third. Then the fourth, they had Braylon Allen. Should be very interesting, as you know, I expect him to be a very good bruiser behind Brees Hall. So, and he's a very interesting running back. We actually showcased him during the offseason, just before the draft. And I really like him. He's a very big bruised back, and I expect him to bang up the lineman and have Brees Hall just power through. Uh, this guy could be a touchdown snuff, but I'm not too entirely too sure how they're going to run the offense again. But I think he's going to be a very good complementary back to Brees Hall. He's something special if he can stay healthy. He's had some injuries back in the past in his early days, but so far last year he did pretty good. And people are worried, like, why they go after two running backs? I mean, well, you weren't going to rely on who they had at the time. So Jordan Davis here, backup QB at Florida, and then Isaiah Davis is the second quarter running back who they got here out of South Dakota State. So he's more of that offset speedster back. So it's kind of different. Where Brees Hall's calling all around, Braylon Allen's kind of the bruiser, and then I feel like Davis is going to be that offset speed back. So it'll be interesting. They didn't go in defense at all until near the fifth round pick with Stiggers. So I we'll see. We'll see how this defense holds up, and then with Jalen King here, which is a very nice pick at 7. I think that's a very good pick actually there at the 7. So he did pretty good in Alabama there. So we'll see how this team runs. I mean, it's very they're basically running with their last year's defense. None of these rookies are probably going to make immediate impact right off the bat. I think the only one who might actually have impact right off the bat from these guys is Malachi Corley, just because the receiver room is kind of it kind of like fell a little bit after they lost, a few of their weaponries, and then Garrett Wilson. But again, let's think about this team. This in history, this team can do good. I mean, 2 years ago, they had one of the best drafts in my opinion. You can't they had not only Garrett Wilson, who was rookie of the year, right? They also had Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, rookie of the year, right? On both sides. Who essentially Brees Hall would have been his offensive rookie of the year had he not got hurt. So you think about it, they have 3. Last year, Jermaine Johnson made the Pro Bowl. Like, that's very rare that you have 4 guys from that same rookie draft class be this good. And then you're adding Quinton Williams, Javon Kinlaw, Quincy Williams, CJ Mosley, Sergeant Garza, Chuck Clark, Tony Adams, JD Reed, and Michael Carter. And Isaiah Oliver. This defense is good. I think this defense is really good enough to beat their own teams in the division, which I said that the offense has enough weapons. This line can do good. The Jets can be very dangerous this year if they work and work out everything together. If the schedule aligns and everything can be work their way this year, I'm excited to see these guys. I think that they can take on, probably split with the Bills, and probably split with the Dolphins this year, which is essentially the 2 teams that they're going to have a hard time with. I don't think New England is ready to compete this year. I think they have to figure themselves out yet. I don't think they're going to do that good this year. But as for the Jets' sake, things can be very interesting with these guys. So with Derpy coming in here, it says Aaron is a diva. I think those days are done. I disagree. I think those days are done. I think those were more of the Green Bay days. He's been very chill, really cool. Everyone seems to like him. So I don't know. I don't think we haven't heard anything from him. Usually it's during the offseason where we hear stuff from him. And since he's left Green Bay, we haven't really heard him spice up the media as much as he used to. So I think the atmosphere and everything's changed him. He doesn't really have to deal with Green Bay, and Green Bay has always had an interesting organization where they just kind of like poke the bear at their players, and then they get disgruntled, and then they leave, or they. Yeah, but listen, we're not talking about Green Bay. 2 running backs. I don't know about that. Two. What do you mean? That's the Jalen Allen and Brees Hall. Like Jerpy, you're going to be very surprised about these guys. Yeah, and are you talking about how they got 2 running backs in the draft? They did. Yes, they did. They brought Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. They brought in 2 of them from the draft. I think there was just depth for Brees Hall. So again, these guys, like, yeah, they brought in Terry Cohen not too long ago, but I think that guy's not going to even be anywhere on the field except for kick return. This new kick return rule and everything, or the way they're changing up, I think Cohen's going to be basically that guy. He's very good at kick return, so I think they're going to make design plays for him at the kick return, but I don't expect him to get any carries or any pass catches outside of injury. So, he also says, I like the Travis pick for them. Malachi's probably their best pick, aka their sexy pick. I could see there, and he's the only one that's going to be like on the field right away outside of these guys. Fashanu might actually get in there as well, because I mean, they might have to move Eric Tucker somewhere. Moses might have to move, but I think they might. But he is on the left side. If it doesn't surprise me that he'll probably end up playing like guard or something, I don't know. But I think that Fashanu is a very good asset. If he doesn't play this year, I'll be very shocked. But he'll be learning from one of the best linemen in the league, and that's Tyron Smith, who probably is going to leave here soon and retire with the Jets eventually. So really depends if Rodgers. Yeah, and yeah. And you're right. And that goes for the whole roster. Like, if Rodgers is there, I expect them to do very, very well. This defense can hold their own. Tyrod Taylor, we've seen him do okay. I just don't think he's going to be the guy who's going to play 18 freaking weeks and can get it done. He's a very good backup to have, in my opinion. But again, I don't think he can survive a whole season without getting hurt. That's just how Tyrod Taylor is, and he's just a very good backup, I think. Jordan Travis, a lot of people are saying he could be the next it factor in the next future. I'm not buying that yet. I'm not jumping on that bandwagon yet. Like, I'll wait, and I don't think so yet. I think by the time they're ready, 2-3 years from now, I don't know, there'll probably be more quarterbacks that come out and are probably even better than him. So we'll see. Tua, what's up, man? So yeah, as far as the only ones I think is going to be Malachi Corley. You know, that's pretty much the one. Him and Fashanu are going to be right off the bat getting their work done. I mean, they were the first chosen on the team, so doesn't surprise me. Okay, all right, depth chart wise, let's talk about these guys. Again, Rodgers at the helm, assuming he comes back healthy and he's playing like his old self. I think it's going to be very interesting. The 1, 2, and 3 is Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, and Malachi Corley. Not a big surprise. Alan Lazard's still sitting there. Gibson is there, and Brownlee's still sitting there. Very good at the slot, but I think Malachi Corley is going to outdo them, which, if we look at this roster now, it looks like he's already in that position, which doesn't surprise me. Garrett Wilson is going to still be the number 1 guy, regardless of the fact. I think he's going to be the main game changer here. The guy can get it done. And that's Rodgers' favorite target right now. And we've seen it throughout when last year, before he got hurt, through the offseason, all he was just raving about this guy. He's like, oh, he's a good, talented guy. I like throwing to him. It just feels natural. I think they're going to make something special. I really want to see Rodgers play for them. I really do. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how well this team elevates in one single year. Guys, it's been 13 years. It's been 13. It's too long. You guys got to get the playoffs. Because you guys get so close, just to fall short and continuously draft in the middle of the pack. It sucks. So I'm excited. So Tua comes in. I said I'm excited for this year. AFC East is going to be interesting. Everyone will be dominate New England, but excited to see how everyone else, especially exactly. And I said that earlier too. I think these three teams are going to be very interesting to watch. I still think New England is kind of developing, which is okay. They just give it some time, but by the time they get elevated, it'll probably this year, next year. We'll see what happens. But as far as the AFC East goes, Jets, Dolphins, Bills, just 100%. It's going to be those three guys or those three teams, regardless of the fact of what New England does. I don't think they're going to beat out the other three yet. So, as for dynasty purposes, when it comes to offense, 100% I'm going after Garrett Wilson. If you didn't know that, for sure, try and trade for him. These guys are going to be, or he's the hype on him fell last year, and I can see why. You know, he wasn't like it wasn't anything nice because he didn't have a nice quarterback or whatever. He still can get it done. He still can get 1,000 yards. I'm not even worried about that. But I mean, the Garrett Wilson owner probably knows this. It's going to be hard to get him off of him. But I think a solid first and something can get you Garrett Wilson. That's probably one guy I'm probably going to go after if you can. But for a startup, I wouldn't mind going after Malachi Corley in one of the later rounds. I think he's going to be a very good asset. I think he's going to be a sneaky asset. Braylon Allen, I'm going after definitely for running backs purposes. Most teams have two running backs. That's just the way the NFL has been ran. I've been saying that for years. They have two running backs. Like, yeah, the face of the main one, but don't get me wrong. They use the other one as well. They typically use two running backs. It's just the way the league's transitioning now. You have one speedster, one bruiser, or sometimes they go with two bruisers and a speedster. It's just the way how things are ran right now. So I rank this division third or second, as in whole, Derpy, or so I rank this division third. I agree, Derpy. Two agrees with them. May or may not have a hot take, but AFC North over East. Very excited to see the Steelers go 9-8 this year. Okay. Oh, I see. From the AFC side, you're saying third. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. I can see that. It's again. The Bills are slowly kind of like they're hanging on there. They lost two very good safeties and also I think they kept one actually. And then, with the loss of Diggs, so they're kind of reforming themselves. They're getting newer weapons. I mean, with Kincaid and Coleman, I like it. And then with Samuel, so Josh Allen has a lot on his hands right now. So we'll see. And as for New England, we've seen them kind of being picked apart in the last 5 years. And, well, the Dolphins, they're actually probably the biggest threat in this division right now. And I'm not gonna lie, they're probably the number one in this division right now. So we'll see. But as for this division, yeah, I could see the Jets going 3, so close to second. It's yeah. I also agree with that. So all right, let's go defense. Jermaine Johnson, like I said, Pro Bowler. Awesome. Very good, very talented. First round pick. And he's playing to his potential. So I think Javon Kinlaw and him right next to each other with Kennan Williams and Hassan Reddick, that's nasty. That's a nasty line. It's probably one of the best lines. Probably second, third, probably maybe even number one, depending on how well Javon Kinlaw still has it. because both New York teams right now have very good defensive lines. With those 4 guys and what New York Giants have, with the addition of the Quincy Williams, C.J. Mosley behind him, those front 6 right there with Sauce Gardner, Chuck Clark, and Reed and Carter. Like, this defense is primed to stop anything that goes their way. Anything that goes their way. So this is going to be the stronghold of this team. This defense right here. And then you have some pretty good depth with Isaiah Oliver, who they just acquired, who's a very good corner, I believe. So, Ashton Davis is still kind of like working his thing, but they also got Jalen Key. So we'll see what happens. I do expect Will McDonald to actually step up this year, and he has to, because they took him first last year, and I just think that he has that potential to do very good things. So this defense is going to be very good. As for Dynasty, dude, just pick one. Pick any of those linemen and get yourself one on waivers or draft them. I think they're going to be all very good. I don't think that CJ Mosley, as old as he is still making plays. Quincy Williams is still making plays. Michael Carter is probably going to get in the mix as well. Chuck Clark, very good safety. So the only thing for IDP, I'm a little bit worried about Sauce Gardner, just because how good he is. Typically, a lot of quarterbacks aren't going to go that way. They won't throw his way. Why? Because they know he's good. So why give him the opportunity to potentially run it back? So usually, and that happens. I'm not saying don't go after him. I'm just saying don't go out and trade the entire farm for this guy. If he's there, get him. If you get him on the cheap, awesome. But again, Sauce Gardner, it's not going to happen. But we'll again, this depending on how the quarterbacks read, they probably won't throw his way. That's typically what happens to a really good corner. So, Friday P purposes. Durfee, Dolphins haven't done anything since 1974. Tua, I don't expect them to compete. Oh my gosh, I'm not finishing that. Okay. All right. So again, I'm excited for this team. I don't really have anything negative about the Jets. I really don't. I'm excited to see these guys. I'm moving so quickly on this team because I feel like they're very good. Tyreek Cohen is they've gone so far. They even got Tyreek Cohen as of late to work on their kick returns. So that's how far they're going. Like it's everything that's going like they've made in the offseason, I really do. And I think even with Craig Zerline. So I think the Jets can do really good. Now I have to look at their schedule and see how well they're going to do, because I don't think they're going to go 7-10 again. There's no way in hell they're going to do that. I think they actually do better. So as for we're starting week 1 with September, they are going to San Francisco and then also traveling to Tennessee. So they actually don't even get to go home until week 3 at New England. But that game right there, the week 1 against San Francisco, is going to be the key determination on this team. If they beat the Niners with this roster, Jets are going to be very good. And I already think they're good. With the talent that I see on paper now. With what I see on paper now. They could be very good. They could be very dangerous. Tennessee, they're beating. New England, they're beating. Broncos, they're beating. Vikings, they're beating. I think they're going to split there with the Bills. So they're probably going to go 5 wins right there off the bat. Steelers might be interesting. I think they're going to sweep the Patriots. And then they're going to beat the Cardinals, and they're going to beat the Colts. They're going to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And then the Jaguars, easy. And I think they split with the Dolphins, which 11. And I think they beat the Rams. Either the other teams I didn't mention, either they lose or split. And that's how easy I think it is. So again, Let's go from the top. Week 2, Titans. I think they get them. At home with New England, that's another one. At home with Broncos, another one. Away in Vikings, that's another one. At 4, they go back home with the Bills. Week 6, Monday Night Football. I think they pull this one off. They're at home. I'll give them the split there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I don't think New England has a chance to beat them at all this year, so that's 6. They might lose to the Texans, and then they lose, or then they beat the Cardinals, which is 7. And I think they beat the Colts, which is 8. I think they beat the Seahawks 9. The Jaguars 10. LA Rams 11. Depending on health concerns on how well they do, this Week 18 game is going to be interesting because I think the Dolphins are going to be just as good. So I don't think anyone's going to get benched this game. Considering that they had the... If they lose to the Bills the prior week at Week 17, then travel home to play the Dolphins, they're going to have to beat them. No one's going to sit out. But I did give them the win. I gave the Dolphins the win earlier. So now that we're home, I think we'll split. So I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins. 11 wins. I say 11 wins. Yeah, Titans, New England, Broncos, Vikings, New England again, Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks, Jaguars, LA, and then the Dolphins. I think they split with the Dolphins. So I don't know. I'm gonna say 11 here. Tua coming in. I know I have the Jets winning 12 this season, and it's up there. They can. Again, if they beat the Niners, that's 12, and if they can handle the Niners, they're gonna bring some serious competition to the Steelers and serious competition to the Texans. Which those games can be wins. And then we're looking at freaking 14 to 15 wins. The Jets are very good this year, guys. Roster paper-wise, they have been slowly, gradually getting better. And if Rodgers is healthy, which he should be, because that line is pretty good, I don't see them coming outside of 10 wins. They're not doing 7 and 10 again this year. I promise you that. Ain't no way they're doing that again. It's been 13 years, guys. They got to make playoffs. I think they have. I think this is the roster. I think Robert Saleh has got the right idea. And Derpy says I'm not wrong. I mean, I don't know. I could be Derpy, but... And then Alex comes in. Yeah, you got to be a homo. I got them losing to the Colts. Get out of here, Alex. Get out of here. They will be better for sure. Agree with you. I don't think they're gonna. No, that Colts game is gonna be interesting. I think they can handle the Colts. I think the Colts are good. I just don't think they're going to be phenomenal yet. I still think you guys need a little bit more offensive pieces to your guys' team in order to make that happen. Because right now, Michael Pittman's your main guy. And I get it. But outside of that, you need a little bit more weaponry for Richardson. I know Jonathan Taylor. I'm talking about pass catchers. So I'm not gonna put, because I'm gonna say Sauce Gardner's gonna lock down Michael Pittman. Dunzo. Right? Now what? I mean, Chuck Clark's sitting back there for your secondary, whoever's got there, and Michael Carter's just as good. So I don't think the Colts are gonna be able to beat the Jets. So I'm gonna say 11. What do you got, Derpy? Tua says 12. Let me pull up my my ranking, or not my rankings here, but our chart. Our community roster charts. Alex, give me what you think. You're here now. Let me see what you think. We'll add it. We'll tally it up. Again, if Rodgers is healthy the entire time, this team can go 11. I think they have the proper tools for it. So yeah, let's get there. Go ahead, give me guys your thoughts, and we'll put it in. So right now I have 11, and I have Tua saying 12. So right now we're sitting at 11 and a half. What's up, Spoiler Kings? Rodgers runs out the tunnel on both of his. Oh Jesus! Wish hashtag lethal. Get out of here. He put hashtag, or they put hashtag wishful thinking. Rodgers runs out of the tunnel and both of his knees blow up. Jesus. This you know what? That is totally Brian. That is totally Brian. I know that's not Tank right now. Legit, if Rodgers stays healthy, I say 11 wins. All right, so Spoiler King's in says 11 win after his wishful thinking comment. I say 11. Spoiler King says 11. Tua says 12. And Alex says 10. Yeah, you really think the Colts are going to beat them, huh? You know what? Just wait, my friend. You know what? When we get to what week is that? What week is that? Plan on let's November 17th. Wait, am I gone that week? No, I'll be back. Yeah. Let's go watch that game. Oh no, wait. If you can. But we'll keep that in mind. November 17th. Keep that in mind. All right. So 12, 11, 11, and 10. Average out 11. That's 11, guys. Let's keep to 11. Unless we get a last minute in, we'll keep it to 11. I think 11 it sounds good to me. Yeah. That's not what I want. The outline. There we go. We're gonna put it to our chart. If you're watching on, or if you're listening on Spotify, you can go towards the end of the episode on YouTube, and you can see all our past teams and so far what we've done. But I will repeat everything we've done so far. So today we put them at 11. From the AFC East, we also have the Patriots at 4. AFC South, the only team we've done was the Titans, and we had them at 5.5. AFC West, we have only Chargers, 8.5. NFC West, only the Cardinals at 6.5. NFC East, we covered two teams. That's the Commanders and New York Giants. The Commanders we have at 6, the Giants at 5, and the NFC North so far, we have the Vikings and the Bears. And we have the Vikings at 5 and the Bears at 9. And then the only NFC South team we've done was Atlanta, and we're sitting at 10. These teams we're probably going to revisit. We're probably going to revisit some of these teams. We're going to revisit the Bears, the Commanders, the Patriots, the Cardinals, and the Chargers. Those are the first 5 teams. We'll probably revisit those just because we did those early. And typically we get closer to the season, we usually go back and refix it. Unless a giant trade has happened, then we come back and readjust our rankings. And then our chart, we see what happens from there. And Derpy comes in with 9. Way to go. Just ruin our average. Now you got to make me do math. All right, hang on. So we got, hold on. So you got 9, the 2 11s, right? Then the 10, and then we have a 12. So that's 5. Derpy stupid 9 puts the Jets at 10.5 now. What a dick. What a dick. All right. 10.5. There it is. Just remember, if they do better than 10. 9 with Rodgers, without him 7. Wow, that's blasphemy. That is blasphemy. That's amazing. So you say 9 with Rodgers, without him probably 7. Jesus, Derpy. Holy crap. Thank goodness I'm disagreeing with you, because we have been agreeing on way too many of these. That is the wildest thing. No, I don't think so. We'll see. If you're right, awesome. And you can come back and rub it in my face. It's fine. And say, yeah, I told you. They were going to go 9. All right, guys. This was an easy one because I think the Jets are going to do good. I'm looking at this roster. Tell me if you think differently in the comments on why or wherever. If you listen to me on the radio or on Spotify and you want to come back on the comments and tell us why you think we're wrong or give us your input, interesting. I'll look back at them. I know. Yeah, Spoiler Kings. Yeah, I know. Derpy ruined it. Everyone blamed Derpy. He ruined it. We had him at 11. Man says 9. I thought the 10 was interesting as well, but I could see 10. Remember, it's the Jets, Martin. Been trying to find yeah, but they have a QB now, Derpy. They have a QB. I understand what you're saying right now. Remember, it's the Jets. They've been trying to find a QB forever. I get it. But they have one. Aaron Rodgers, if healthy, is a really good QB. He's one of the best. And you say he'll get hurt again. You just come in. I'm not reading your comments no more. You're just a negative Nancy. All right, guys. I am falling off the wagon. I know I've been falling behind. I've got some interesting news that was negative lately, and it's kind of like just ruined the vibes. So don't worry, we're going back. I'll start off eventually with today with the Jets. I'm sorry, but ignore the dates if you're watching on YouTube. Ignore the dates. If you're listening, I'm gonna do the Broncos next. Okay. And then we're gonna do the Raiders and the Saints are next. I will get done. I will catch up eventually. I'm a couple days behind. I'd say 3 days behind. So, but I will get these teams out eventually as we go along. So again, thanks guys for coming in and giving your guys' record. I appreciate that most. Thank you. We'll see how we do at the end of the off season, just before kickoff, or maybe by preseason we'll have our playoff bracket ready, and we'll see how accurate we did as a community. But other than that, though, New York Jets overall, I have high hopes for you guys. I think you guys are going to do really good. I think your roster is complete with both defense. The defense looks really, really good this year. And I think with the offense, if they click, you have elevated the offense. So the line is very good. I think you have Braylon Allen. It is going to be a very good complementary back for Breece Hall with Mike Williams' addition to Tyler Conklin and Garrett Wilson. If healthy, overall, I think that you guys can go far, and I think you guys can split with the Bills and the Dolphins. I'm not worried about New England. I'm not. I'm just not. I don't think they have a chance this year. I don't think they're going to win this year. They might have a high-end draft pick, and they're going to have to end up getting a QB anyways. So, again, guys, take care. I love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one when we do the Broncos, all right? Later.
Getting hyped when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, yeah, that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up into place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. When I watch me elevate.